IVF babies are lab experiments. Yeah, that's what he said. Let's talk about it. Hello guys, welcome back to my YouTube channel. And if today is your first time on this channel, it's good to have you. What have you been doing? Thank you all for joining. I'm Esenam from Accra, Ghana, and on this channel I talk about faith, health, lifestyle, and all that good stuff. Today I want to talk about surrogacy and everything that surrounds it, and the children being called lab experiments. See, naturally I'm not someone that would like to talk about trending topics. I'm not a social commentator, so when things are happening I'm like, I don't care. And even when this entire thing started, I was like, your body, your choice, you know what you want to do. However, it started getting out of hand, and I'm like, nah, let me add my voice to this conversation because I don't like where it's going. I get that. Okay, backstory. Let's go back. So if you are someone that's active on social media, then you would have heard of Diary of a Nigerian Girl, Dang Lifestyle, Ife. And a lot of us follow her page. We don't always agree to what she posts, but then that's the beauty of social media. I don't have to agree with someone necessarily, but then majority of the times you agree with them because your thinking patterns align. And even for the people you share value with, there are so many things they're like, okay, that's you, but I will not do that. But then I understand the core of who you are. I and you, I follow you and all that. So she shared about women in their 30s freezing their eggs, and I'm going to do a separate video on that to talk about egg freezing and all that you need to do about that, all you need to know, and how to get your egg freeze, the right processes and everything. So she spoke about egg freezing and women in their 30s. That was a great advice. If you know, if you are in your 30s, especially approaching your late 30s, and then childbirth is not in the view as of now, but you know you would eventually want to give birth later. Probably you are not married, or you feel like you're not financially stable, and then you feel like, okay, let me just thaw my eggs, freeze my egg, because the earlier the healthier eggs you would get. You get it. So she spoke about that, and then there was a backlash, like, she's advising women not to marry early, to focus on other trivialities and all that, in as much as we know that there are childbearing years for a woman, and thank God for science and all those things that extends the years. We also know that sometimes when you are healthier, it's easier, and then it reduces the risk of certain anomalies in the child. However, we cannot deny that not everybody will marry early. You get it. We all are not privy to the same circumstances. So if I'm not privy to your circumstances, should not downplay mine. You get it. So she spoke about the backlash, feminism, and that is it. You are telling people to be wayward and all that. So she came back. When I saw the video, I'm like, that's a great advice. Definitely I want to do a video explaining the details and the intricacies of freezing your eggs and all you need to know medically, and as a midwife, what you need to know. I'm like, that's a great advice. If you can afford it, do it. And then once again, your body, your choice. So I'm not really bothered once it's not going to be detrimental. You understand? So after the backlash, she came back and was like, well, most people don't like women having autonomy over their bodies, but guess what? She is having autonomy over her body. And then another thing that is going to get them talking is that she's going to use a surrogate. And she explained that here people talk about if you are going to use a surrogate, or they expect that if you're going to use a surrogate, you are expected to have a medical issue. And then, but then guess what? She doesn't have a medical issue. She's in her 40s. I think currently she should be like 43 or 42. And if you got married in her 40s, and it was beautiful. We are all happy for her. If you follow Dang for a long time, you will know that we are happy. The community members are happy for her. Even with the community members who are not in Nigeria, we are happy for her. So that was it. Once when I saw it, I was like, well, not necessarily agree with the fact that you don't have any medical issues and you want to use it. But then once again, your body, your choice. Whoever is doing a surrogacy understands the intricacies of being a surrogate and chose to it, so your body, your choice. However, the backlash, I saw comments from people, and I was just like, if you know me, in fact, commercialization of surrogacy is wrong. I'm not even going to mince words with it. Commercialization of surrogacy is wrong, because when we start commercializing such things, it's going to go for the highest bidder. So when someone actually needs it and cannot afford the highest bidder's price, the person would not get it. So I'm not for it, commercialization of surrogacy. But as a health professional, we cannot deny how surrogacy has helped families, how we have seen surrogacy be the answer to the prayer of many families. So in as much as I agree to we not commercializing surrogacy, and I'm like, it's your choice, I'm not agree to commercializing. But I also understand that the platform she has is influential. You have a number of following, so your opinions are going to be regarded as guiding lights and points for people, even though I expect that we are all old, so you should know what you want to do and then not be so easily influenced. However, we cannot deny that there are people who are influenced by all of these things. You get it? So that was all I was thinking. And what made me decide that I'm going to do this video is when I saw a video from someone that called IVF babies lab experiments. Babies formulated in the what of labs. See, we get all that. Nobody is saying we should commercialize surrogacy. She doesn't have an issue. She decided to go for it. But when you go down, the extreme of the both is the problem. You go down and start talking bad. The way the whole thing sounded. Imagine there is someone, and I'm doing this video for that woman who has prayed to God, who has cried, who has fasted, who has done several IVFs and it has failed, and is eventually saved enough to do surrogacy. And you see such a video and you are like, should I even do it? Do it! Go for that surrogacy. I said it. If you can afford it and you have gone through the legal, because there are ethics of doing things, the legal necessities to, the legal requirement, do it. If you are not commercializing it and it's medical issues, you can't carry your own child, but yes, you want your own baby, let someone help you carry. Let someone be the answer to the prayer to your family. And if you are that woman, you maybe haven't gotten to the extent of surrogacy, but you are yet eventually saved, and then you are going to start your IVF process, and you saw someone say that babies formulated on the cold seats of labs, and you are wondering, does my baby, or is my baby an answer to my prayer? Am I helping God? You are not helping God. God gave us wisdom. Even the Bible says that wisdom is profitable to direct. God gave us wisdom. And it's without wisdom that science was formulated. Science is not from the pit of hell. It was formulated so that the children of God can have life easier. I get all of a sudden there is this craze, and why won't you adopt and all those things. Adopting is also another thing. But now I am not going to behave like I haven't heard all of those people now saying all of a sudden, why don't you adopt? Once in the past, behave like adoption was, and we are carrying somebody's child, and all this surrogacy we are frowning on. The same way adoption was frowned on some years back, and now adoption is being seen as, there's an answer to prayer, it's an option families can settle. Whether it happened to you without medical help, whether you took medications, IUI, IVF, surrogacy, adoption, your journey to motherhood is valid. What matters is that at the end of the day, without inflicting harm on anyone or without exploiting anyone. That's why I have a problem with commercial surrogacy, because their main purpose of doing that surrogacy is because they don't have Islamic for monetary issues, not because I want to be an answer to someone's prayer or I want to help families carry babies per se. So once it's not exploitatory, or exploitatory, I mean, the way this talk come in, but then you get what I'm saying. Do it. This whole thing is kind of emotional for me. Most of you, when we are talking about these things, we like to go to the extreme of I don't have any issue, so I can commercialize, I can get someone to do it for me because I can afford it. That one too, it's a problem, because those things, all these interventions were to help families, to help people that can't, I mean, conceive naturally, need help, are having hormonal issues, some are having organ problems, some are without uteruses. Some uteruses have been damaged due to cancer, due to so many. I was recently watching a story of a woman who, Camerism, if you know, she, the story of when you are initially twins and then vanishing twin syndrome. The other one absolves the other twin. So as a result of the absolving of the other twin, it was affecting her systems. There was rejection and all that. So eventually, after having so many organ failures, if I get the story right, she said she had to take out her uterus. A total hysterectomy done. I think she was 30 something. And we've had people that due to other challenges, they've had hysterectomies and they may never be able to carry their children. And these ones want children of their own. Whilst adoption is great and all that, let's not deny that let's not pretend that the adoption journey is also not an easy journey. People go through the systems and walk home without a child. So for such a woman like that who wants to carry her child, the only option for her is when someone donates their womb for her egg and the sperm of her husband to be fertilized. Now, when we talk about surrogacy, there are different types of surrogacy. We have what we call the traditional surrogacy and the gestational surrogacy. Traditional surrogacy, you are using the egg of the woman and probably the sperm of the man. The baby is an embryo, the egg of the woman, the sperm of the man, fertilized, an embryo is developed, and an embryo is implanted into the woman's womb. So now the carrier, for this one, the carrier's DNA is linked to the baby she's carrying. But for the gestational surrogacy, it's the egg and the sperm of the intending family implanted. So the egg and the sperm of the intended family fertilized, and the embryo which is formed is implanted into the womb of the surrogate. So she's a gestational carrier. She has no DNA link to the child. The couple is going to go home with their biological child. You get it? So that is what we talk about surrogacy. Those are the types of surrogacy, and that is what it means. Now, I would not advise that if you don't have any medical issues, because all of this were answers to people's prayer. If you don't have any medical issue, they are those on the other extreme, and just because of the comfort of it, if you want to, your body, your choice eventually. But then that is not the reason why surrogacy was done. Surrogacy was done to be an answer to people's prayer. So you get what I get, to be a solution to families. Help people who can't carry their own children to carry it. And then IVF, probably those who, due to certain issues, there's a disturbance, and then when the sperm travels through, they are not able to, it's not able to fertilize with the egg, and a whole lot of issues. I don't want to go into the details of that. I just want to make that step. So that is why IVF, IUI, surrogacy, and all of this are deformed. Now, whilst we get that, and we get that people are exploiting that and on the extreme because they don't have money. When Dank posted it, I saw some follow-up comments when some people posted that they are ready to be a surrogate because they need the money. You get it. That is not the essence of surrogacy, because you need the money. It should be because we want to be an answer to someone's prayer. So we will not deny that is happening. Then the other extreme is what forced me to do this video. Whether people are exploiting surrogacy or not, whether you are saying that, and you are trying to say that because you almost died through pregnancy, someone else should carry your child. What if that person also almost dies? Are you not being inhumane? It's like telling someone that because you almost died while driving, you should not have a driver. You understand, the other person that is driving is the person's job. Being a surrogate didn't necessarily be a person's job, but it's what the person chose to do. And then those who are doing the altruistic surrogacy, where they are not motivated by money, which is what most countries allow, and they are motivated by love and kindness. There's my sister, there's a close friend who can carry their own child. I have carried my own children, or I can carry my own children, so let me help her carry, let me lend my womb for her for that 9 months, carry her child, and then hand the baby to her and move on with my life. The altruistic kind of surrogacy. That does not mean that. You get it? So that you will not say that because you almost died driving, so you shouldn't get that. So there are people, surrogacy is not without risks. We are not saying it's without risks, but then those who are the surrogates understand the risks of it, and they go into it knowing fully well the risks. So you don't go and sit somewhere just because data is free. Does not mean you should be cruel, sir. Data is free does not mean you should be cruel. Calling children born through IVFs lab experiment is the height of it. And I'm saying this because I've heard that people say so many things. People have called IVF, and it's not just because that video I saw was so motivated, because I've heard other people say that call IVF baby lab babies, and not as if they are not human beings, and to the extent of saying that people do not deserve to be parents because they want to use surrogacy. If someone is exploiting surrogacy, that's a different thing. But when you have worked, or if you have worked with people, there are people that I'm even still currently hoping their procedures go on well, praying with them, believing God for them. Some are not even aware that eventually they get to carry their own pregnancy. So if it is surrogacy, they get to. Anybody who knows me knows I always say that I believe that even as a Christian, as God answers prayers, and he answers prayers through sacraments, and which is why I believe that as a Christian you don't have to, you should not wait so long in the name of I'm just waiting on God. You can take steps. So what are the steps? I understand there are people that God has asked them not to do that. That's not their journey, fine. But for the other people, have you gone to the hospital to check? So anybody who knows me, I go to the hospital, check. Is there IVF you're supposed to do? Is there IUI? Is there adoption? Anybody who knows me, I'm vocal about adoption. I've always said that whilst we are praying to God for children, some people are also praying to God for mothers. But I am nowhere going to make adoption seem like a righteous alternative and pull down people who are wanting to have their own biological children through IVF or surrogacy. You don't promote one and try bringing one down. No, it's not done. It's not done. They are both methods to motherhood, and whichever way the other person chooses is okay. If you decide to become a mother through adoption, the adoption method your motherhood journey is valid, and we celebrate with you. So for that woman watching this, wondering, is it even worth it? Are they going to call my child a lab baby? Are they going to call my child a lab experiment? Does it mean that I am trying to jump ahead of God? Is it a sin? Will God have me do it? This is your confirmation. Do it. You have saved. You have prayed. You have cried. Definitely, as a child of God, I'm going to say a prayer about it. So that's say you have prayed, and know that have peace, have confirmation, whichever way God speaks to you, that between you and him. But if you had the clearance to do it, and probably because of the recent emergence of this whole surrogacy talk is trying to water down your faith and water down your convictions, like, should I even let it go? Do I even deserve to be a mother? Do I even deserve to have my own biological children? You deserve to have your own biological children if only you want it, and if only you can afford it. You deserve to be your own biological children. So yeah, that's why I made this video. This video is not even supposed to the essence of this is not to condemn anybody. We all are adults. We all can make our choices, but that does not mean we should be cruel. That does not also mean we should be exploitative because we have the money. It does not also mean we should be cruel and criticize because you have never walked that path. See, I have worked with people that I believe in for the fruit of the womb, and you don't want to be in their shoes. You genuinely don't want to be in their shoes. God should be kind to all of us that we will not experience infertility. That way you will not carry your ring light and your camera and come online and say what you should not say. Yes, once again, I will say it, I am not for the exploitation of surrogacy. The woman's body should not be exploited, definitely. If you don't have any medical issues and you choose to do it, that's between you and God and your conscience, knowing that you are taking advantage of a solution that was made to help people who can afford it. And understand that the very moment you start exploiting these things, they go to the highest bidder, and those who actually need it may not be able to afford it, because those of you who don't need it are able to afford it and then water down the whole journey. But that's also not mean I should go to the other extreme and condemn everybody who's using this journey as a path to motherhood. When we want to talk about this, when you also want to do surrogacy, please make sure you understand the legal requirements for surrogacy in your country. Some countries have banned surrogacy, and I understand that surrogacy is not child farming or baby farming. Do not do surrogacy through any middleman. Surrogacy is a cost-involving process, a time-involving process, a monetary-involving process. Get an agency, a registered agency. Find out what the rules of the laws concerning surrogacy are in your country. Get a lawyer. Let the surrogate and the intending family understand the requirement of what it means. Get medical screening done. Do your homework in one sense. Do your homework so in the end, nobody's exploited. And even if you are a surrogate for a family, please do your homework well. Ask questions. It's very unfortunate we've had cases where families have left the surrogate because the child had a disability, or the surrogate, the family have divorced, they've separated, so they no longer need the child. So yes, a surrogate, when you are doing all these things, doing it to help the family, doing it to bring an answer to a family, to wipe away their tears, to give them opportunity to carry their own child in their hands. Also make sure you protect yourself. Get a lawyer. Find out what are the terms and conditions of the contract. The family also expecting a child, also find out what the terms and conditions are. And yeah, to everybody watching, thank you for watching this far. I really hope I was able to communicate everything in my mind out. And until next time, tada! This is SA Speaks, where we talk about health, faith, lifestyle. Till next time, bye bye.